Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Thursday, the 7th of July, 2022, and we had a nice rally in the stock market today. Is it the end of the bear? No, not by a long shot. It's a bounce, well-deserved bounce, one that wasn't that difficult to call, and now you're getting overbought. You got jobs data numbers tomorrow. You want to be very careful. Market's looking for 230,000. New jobs, and the market's looking for the unemployment rate at 3.6%. So good numbers like that will keep the Fed on pace. Let's assume it's 200,000 jobs. Let's assume it goes up to 3.8%. Okay, is that going to take the Fed off pace? Not in any manner whatsoever. They're going to do an interest rate hike. I don't know. Nobody's called me up to tell me it's 50 or 75 basis points. The hawks still want the 75, and their argument's good. Let's get it done, and let's get ahead of the inflation. That's a hard argument to beat. Very hard. Now, we did see energy prices this week fall hard. We saw the grains, but everything's begun its correction. Could be that we've seen the break lows in some of these. The word is could be, one break in a rally from that, the rally off the lows doesn't prove that it's got livability, that it's going to keep going. But there's a ray of hope for those that think the break is ending. I'm joining their camp. We're probably getting to that point. As I brought Google on this week, I brought it on when it was over here. I thought it was going to perform, and it did. I mean, it's a pretty neat little thing. It's come up nicely. It's now got a lower low and a higher high. Okay, the market's over the 18-day average and the 50-day average in blue. So where's the Bollinger Band? You're at the resistance point, my friends. This is where I think the pros are coming out of the market today. I think they came out. The market is not embedded. It's overbought. It's up to the Bollinger Band. If you've done this before, you've been in pretty good stead as the market has either hit the lows or the highs of that and it backs away. Could it go further? Of course it could, but the odds don't favor it. And that's what trading is about if you're a chartist. You're looking at the odds. This is not about when you're using a chart. Oh, I'm going to look at the chart and the forward earnings are this and this is going to be that. That's a different type. That's investing. This is trading. There is a big difference between the two. AMC, yes. I wanted to see the market hold this and not go into a crash right here. You're not trending. You have a higher high, lower low. You're caught in the sideways action. To me, the logic is they should lift here a bit as they get all the revenues in from the blockbusters that are going to be coming out the rest of the summer. Minions, as I said, set a box office record for a family movie on July 4th. That's money. Now, it's a family movie. Those little kids, they're coming in with their COVID and all this, and they are buying popcorn. They want their candy. They want their soft drink. What parent can take a kid to a movie theater and not buy them something? So, Grandpa, you got to do it. It doesn't matter. Grandma, you're going to do it. So that is what I was surprised that the market actually fell afterwards. I'm not the only one that has to recognize this. Okay, and we'll see. All right, it's not a trend trade. I don't see it. This could be a base to move the market higher, all this sideways action. It could be nothing. You're just waddling back and forth. In Apple, I told traders yesterday and told you if it gets up to the Bollinger Band, I think that's where the pros are going to come out. That's where I think the pros came out. Today, against it. Overbought, that's it. You do what you want. I know you're going to tell me it's going to go up now to 180, and boy, did I leave the money on the table. I get it. I was cracking up today. There's a jerk out there that writes about Kathy Woods, and the market went up from 38 to 45. And boy, did I get it wrong. I have been bearish on her stock since 100. And you get a $5 rally. It takes people that are nuts, Let me get back to Disney here. Lower low, higher high. The market sitting there. Okay, now what? That's the interesting question. I am the most surprised person from a fundamental point of view that this stock hasn't gone higher. Again, all the kids are there. They're spending money. Have you looked at the price of a ticket to take a family of 2 or 3 kids to Disney World, Disneyland. There's Universal Park. Have you bothered looking at it? These are not cheap. Then you've got to buy, they have the greatest gimmick. Well, do you want your kids to stand in line or do you want to pay for the expedited lines? I love it. I mean, this is marketing at its finest, and it works. So I'm surprised that it's been just hanging there. It's certainly not crashing, but I'm going to repeat, these need the summer business. I mean, most of us aren't going there with our kids in the middle of winter. Don't get me wrong, it's California and Florida, but the kids are in school. You'll get those few weeks where they can get out of school for the holidays, but you know what I'm getting at. This is the time where it's there. In XLF, look at how the market's coming up. Look at what's going on through here. This is good action. Could you make it to the upper Bollinger Band? You could. Do I think it's going to get much further than that? No. I think the market needs to, whatever it's going to do, probably do a bit more consolidation. Let's see. We then get to XLI. And as I told you, when you lost the embedded reading back here, this was a place not to be. And it's gotten finally back to the 18-day average of closes. Did it here, challenged there, and it's back. Okay. Are we trending? No, not at all. Then we take a look at the semiconductor. When it got down here, what was I saying? I said, first of all, it's not trending, but that's where the pros, those that were short of other techniques, most likely covered there and there. Which brings me to something. Had one of my past subscribers for other courses write me today about my Bollinger Band course, and he asked good questions. Do I back cast? I think he means back testing, but casting I understand. Why would I have to on the embedded reading when it's visually right there? You can't miss it the way I teach it. So no, not interested in that. Also, I'm not interested in programming it. It could be done, I'm certain. I'm not interested. So I'm only teaching what I teach the way I teach it. Another question was asked, how do I use it? Do I use it hourly charts, 15-minute, weekly, yearly? My preference is a daily chart. You to tell me, I'll let you guys take it and tell me if it works on the rest. I created it to use it on a daily chart. I do use it on weeklies. I don't really do 15-minute charts. If I'm doing that, I'm using pivot points and stochastics. I'm not using the Bollinger Band with this. Different technique. That cough. By the way, 3 family members of mine went down 8 days ago to Nashville to visit more family members of ours. They came back, made it back to Indiana. That's where they live. I'm from Chicago, my wife's side. They all got COVID. All 3. Not good. Higher lows, higher highs, market overbought. Yeah, you might reach up here. I told you, first of all, I like today that you saw the biggest decline in mortgages since 2008 on one drop. Went from 5.7 to what, 5.3? That's impressive. It's not going to change the housing market. It's the correction we saw off interest rates going from 3.25 plus on the 10-year down to the 2.8 level. Okay, it makes sense. But we're not through with this Fed. This Fed is going to raise interest rates again. These are this in the market. But that helps the home builders. It's summer. Drop the rate, less supply on the market. Nobody's looking for housing to fall apart. Corrections, depends where you're at, probably nationally 5%. I think that's what most analysts are looking for, at least the guys I'm talking to. And I'm noticing rents. Boy, are you watching rents? Now they're under pressure. Do you remember 2 months ago, I said there's a bidding war in Miami in rents. I keep up with Miami because I live there. I got rid of my weekend home, as I call it, years ago. Not a long time ago, but years ago. And I've watched what the rents did recently. 40% increases. Come on. This is insane. And now the free fall begins. Okay. But it's a free fall back to normal. That's all. And remember, a lot of it's seasonal there. So people will go and they'll rent, and this is very typical in Florida, 6 months at a time, and then they go back to wherever they're from. People that are moving there permanently probably aren't renting. Down hard in the gold, 3 days under the lower Bollinger Band. Let me get that out of the way. There, it's gone. You're probably going to get a pop to the right-hand side, but this is not a change. This is a bearish configuration. You have a top in gold. Diehard's right in the all you want. That's a top in gold, okay? You got to do a lot of work, and down the road, after it's through on the downside, you'll tell me, boy, was I wrong as it rallies back up from whatever depth it's going to. GDX, still in a downtrend, embedded. Now, you lose the red line back over 21 on a close, which you're not. Okay, then I'm going to look for a bounce in the market back to the 18-day average, but you haven't done that yet. So I think these rallies are getting sold by the pros until that happens. Copper, you got to close at 1968. Now, I was looking at this one real hard. Is this your short sale or not? I told my paid subscribers today, I think we can pass. If you close in the top part of the range, the way the math goes, you're probably going to lose the embedded reading right on the opening. Plus, we got the jobs number. Let's take a look. But why is copper come alive? Well, copper has come alive because China's throwing 200 and some odd billion into infrastructure right now. In electric cars, they're bringing back the subsidies. They're bringing back a lot of things to get their economy moving because they destroyed themselves with the zero tolerance. Now, I want to give you a fear here. They're testing right now some 25 million people in Shanghai again for COVID. And on the interior of the city, the country, where the manufacturing centers are, there's real problems because you're getting some serious outbreaks. What do we do in the fall when things get worse? That's what scares me. AGG, okay, you got up to the Bollinger Band, overbought, out you go. I keep looking at this Bollinger Band. I'm thinking of raising the price of my course. It sounds funny, but we sell a ton of them. It's such a neat tool. You're overbought, you're over the band, 3 days. It's borrowed time. This market's going to try to get back to the right-hand side of that band at any point. And finally, FXE. 4 days in a row under the lower band, or three. I think you're going to try to get a rally in the next 2 days back to the right-hand side. One other note. Have you paid attention to what Warren Buffett's been buying? I just read a filing. He bought another 12 million plus shares of Occidental Petroleum. So he bought 9.5 just recently. Now he's bought another 12 something. So he's got 21 million shares he's bought. He's a value investor. What's he saying about oil that he thinks is the play? Remember, we're supposed to be going green. These type of companies aren't supposed to do well. This is a pretty big trader. What's he doing? Just food for thought. As I said, my Bollinger Band, take advantage of this price. I'm watching inflation go on everything. Why am I holding my price? It's still here. Here's the ad. Take advantage. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.